Hello, this is Shay Jackson with Hype Math. In today's video, we will be reviewing for the 2022 Texas STAAR Math Test for 5th graders. Our concept is comparing decimals, and this is part 1. Remember, 5th graders, stand tall and be proud. Be yourself. You are amazing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you will be alerted to new videos. We will be going over problems in our 5th grade review workbook. You can purchase it in our store. The link will be in the description box. Now, before we dive into our problems, let's do a review of how to compare decimal values. Step 1, we need to write the numbers lining up the decimal places, which is so key. Step 2, begin at the left to compare digits of the same place value. Step 3, if the numbers are the same in the place values, continue until you can compare different numbers. And don't worry, we will be going over examples. Step 4, write the appropriate inequality sign for the numbers. Remember, the alligator mouth always opens up to the largest number or the biggest number. So let's look at some examples. How to compare decimal values. So we have 7.4862 and 7.4852. Well, when we went over our steps, the first thing we said we needed to do is write the numbers lining up the decimal places, which is so important, okay? So that's what we've done. We've wrote down our numbers and we've lined up the decimal places, lining them up. The next step is to begin at the left to compare the digits of the same place value. So the place value to the furthest left is the ones place. In looking at the ones place, we see that they both have 7s, which kind of goes into step 3. If the numbers are the same in the place values, continue until you can compare different numbers. Okay, so all of our numbers are the same in the ones place. Now I'm going to move to the tens place. Well, both of the values for the 10th place is 4. So what am I going to do? I'm going to move to the next place value on the left, on the right, which is the hundredths place, and that is 8 for the top number and 8 for the bottom number. So we still have numbers that are the same in the place values. So I'm going to move over to the next right-hand place value, which is the thousands place. Well, in looking at the thousands place, we see that we have a 6 and a 5. Okay, now we can compare. So moving to step 4, we are going to write the appropriate inequality sign for the numbers. We know that 7.4862 is greater than 7.4853. Miss Jackson is messing up, guys. Okay, 7.4862 is greater than 7.4853. How do we know that? Because we know that 6 is greater than 5. So that's what makes the top number greater than the bottom number. We're going to write the appropriate inequality sign. Well, remember we said that the alligator mouth always opens up to the largest number. So our problem reads 7.4862 is greater than 7.4852. Now we're going to dive in and seeing how to order decimal places. And when we order decimal places, we follow some of the same steps. So we have a group of numbers and we want to order them from least, which means smallest, to greatest, which means largest, okay? And our numbers are 3.29, 2.92, 2.43, and 1.89. Our first step, which is like what we talked about in comparing decimals, is we need to write the numbers, lining up the decimal places, and we are going to begin at the left to compare the digits of the same place value, okay? All right, so here we've lined up our numbers. We have 3.29, 2.92, 2.43, and 1.89. And again, step 2 is begin at the left to compare the digits of the same place value. So starting at the furthest left, which is our ones place, we see that we have a 3, 2 2s, and a 1. Okay, so remember we are looking at and ordering our numbers from least, which means smallest, to greatest, which means largest. So we're going to ask ourselves, what's the smallest number? Well, the smallest number between these four numbers is 1. So we know that the first number is 1.89. Great. Now we are going to move to, okay, what's the greatest number after that? Is it 2 or 3? Well, it's the 2 because it's 1, 2, 3 whenever we count. So we are going to focus on our numbers that have 2's. We see that one is 2.92 and the other one is 2.43. Now, we said that, look at step 3, if the numbers are the same in the place values, continue until you can compare different numbers. Well, in the ones place, we know that we have 2, both of them are 2, so now we need to move to the tenths place. One number, 2.92, has a 9 in the tenths place, and 2.43 has a 4 in the tenths place. Okay, so now what we're going to do, since we're ordering from least to greatest, which is the smaller of those numbers? Is it 4 or is it 9? Well, we know that it's 4, and that is 2.43. That is our second number, and 2.92 is our third number. So our greatest number that we have left is 3.29. So what we're going to do is we are going to write the numbers from least to greatest. And I see that I made a mistake. So hold on one second. All right, I changed it because y'all will be saying, Miss Jackson, where did you get that 1 from? I changed it. My apologies. Okay, it happens. So adults make mistakes too, and we're okay with saying it and correcting it. So writing our numbers from least to greatest, we have 1.89, 2.43, 2.92, and 3.29. Now, let's go over one more example. We're going to order our numbers again from least, which means smallest, to greatest, which means largest. So our group of numbers that we have is 9.68, 9.07, 9.43, and 9.27. Now, let me tell you another way you can say it. You can say 9 and 68/100ths, 9 and 700ths, 9 and 43/100ths, 9 and 27/100ths. Okay, so we wrote the numbers down and we've lined them up, and they're lined up the decimal places. Now what we need to do is we are going to compare the digits of the same place value. Well, in looking at our place value, the furthest one to the left, which is the ones place, we have all 9s. Okay, so now that means we need to move to step 3, which is If the numbers are the same in the place values, continue until you can compare different numbers. All right, so now we're going to look at the tens place, and that's why that box is highlighted around it, because that is going to be our focus. We remember that we're ordering our numbers from least, which means the smallest number, to the greatest, which is the largest number. So let's look at our numbers. In looking at all of our numbers, what's the first smallest number? If you said 0, you are absolutely correct. So it is 9.07. Now we need to look at, okay, what's the number closest to 0? Because again, it's from smallest to largest, or from least to greatest. The next number closest to 0 is 2. So 9.27 is the next number. Then what number is closest to 2 in value? It's the 4, not the 6, right? Because we're going in order. 9.43 is our third number, and 9.68 is our greatest number. So let's line up our numbers from least to greatest. We have 9.07, 9.27, 9.43, and 9.68. All right, now that we've done that review, let's dive into our problems. And remember, fifth graders, you can grab your STAAR Review workbook. The link will be in our description box. So number 3 says, the table shows the time in seconds it took 4 swimmers to complete a race. Which inequality correctly compares 2 of these race times? Is it F, 26.5 is greater than 26.05. G, 26.15 is greater than 26.5. H, 26.1 is less than 26.05. Or J, 26.15 is less than 26.1. And remember, friendly reminder, the alligator mouth always opens up to the largest number. So let's look at our chart. We see that swimmer 1 time is 26 and 1500ths. Swimmer 2 is 26 and 5/10. Swimmer 3 is 26 and 1/10. Swimmer 4 is 26 and 500ths. All right, what's our most important question? What are we looking for? Well, we are looking for the inequality that correctly compares 2 of the race times. What's the second important question? What information can help us find the answer? Well, the information that can help us find the answer is understanding what the swimmer is and also their time. Okay, so we wrote down the swimmers and their times, and also, again, a friendly reminder, the alligator mouth always opens up to the largest number. Now we are going to see how we can solve the problem. Well, in order for us to solve the problem, we need to understand what the inequality signs are saying. So for F, it's saying that 26 and 5/10 is greater than 26 and 500ths. Is that correct? G, 26 and 1500ths is greater than 26 and 5/10. H, 26 and 1/10 is less than 26 and 500ths. Or J, 26 and 1500ths is less than 26 and 1/10. Which one is true? And if you notice, we color-coded the inequality sign along with the words just so it can make it easier for us, okay? So what is the correct answer? What is the correct answer? Is 26 and 5/10 greater than 26 and 5/100? Or is it G, 26 and 15/100 is greater than 26 and 5/10? H is 26 and 1/10 less than 26 and 5/100? Or J, 26 and 15/100 is less than 26 and 1/10. Now remember, in order to compare to compare decimals, what you need to do is line up your decimals and you move from the left to the right, comparing your numbers to see what is correct. If you said that 26 and 5/10 is greater than 26 and 5/100, you are absolutely correct. F is the correct answer. So now let's dive into 4. Which comparison is not true? That means it's all the way wrong, okay? Is it A, 3 and 375 thousandths is greater than 3 and 275 thousandths? Or B, 6 and 875 thousandths is less than 6 and 9/10? C, 2 and 65 hundredths is greater than 2 and 675 thousandths? Or D, 7 and 675 thousandths is less than 7 and 75 hundredths? Most important question, what are we looking for? We are looking for the inequality comparison that is not true. That means it is wrong. The inequality sign is all the way wrong. Our next important question is, what information can help find the answer? The information that can help find the answer is for us to remember that the alligator mouth always opens up to the largest number. So now let's figure out how we're going to solve this problem. Let's look at each inequality, okay? So A says 3 and 375 thousandths is greater than 3 and 275 thousandths. Is that, we're looking for what's false or what's wrong, okay? B, 6 and 875 thousandths is less than 6 and 9/10. Is that correct? C, is that wrong? Miss Jackson is having issues today, guys. My apologies. C, 2 and 65 hundredths is greater than 2 and 675 thousandths. Or D, 7 and 675 thousandths is less than 7 and 75 hundredths. Again, we are looking for the inequality that is not true. It's wrong. It's false. Okay. So what is the correct answer? Take your time. Remember, if you need to pull out your handy dandy scratch paper to line up these numbers and do your comparisons, yes, do so. And also, just a friendly reminder, whenever you're solving problems, solve the problem yourself first and then compare your answer. Because if you just look at the answer choices, you'll end up guessing if you're not sure. And we want to always set you up for success and increase your chances of getting the answer correct. Okay. So which answer we're saying is all the way wrong? It is not true at all. Well, it is C, because no, 265 hundredths is not greater than 2 and 675 thousandths. Well, let's look and see why. We see that both of the numbers has a 2 in the ones place. So now we need to move to the tenths place. Well, both of the numbers have a 6 in the tenths place. So now we're going to move to the right to the hundredths place. Well, 2.65 has a 5 in the hundreds place, and 2.675 has a 7. Well, 5 is less than 7, right? So that is why it is wrong, because no, 5 is not greater than 7. And that is it, fifth graders. Thank you so much for going over this review with me and dealing with some of Miss Jackson's mistakes, which I like keeping in my videos, just so that you know that it happens even with adults, but we keep moving on strong, right? Again, a friendly reminder, we have our 5th grade math review workbook for sale in our store. The link will be in the description box. I will talk to you later.